Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Result decent, performance decent, but after the Newcastle game, that was a much needed one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you can say, look, we got the 3 points. That's the most important thing. It was a solid home performance. We had a lot of shots, but not a lot of clinical finishing. We weren't ruthless enough in front of goal. But it was some really pleasing performances, and you'd hope that it's sort of like turned the tide. Do you know what? You say turn the tide like we've been getting spanked up and down the country, but it's not been the case.
Like, this season has been good. It's just been post-League Cup in the league specifically. Because in the meantime, we've gone through to the next round of the FA Cup, gone through to the next round of the Europa League, but it's almost like the league form has like slipped through the cracks a little bit, hasn't it? You said about a few key performances there. Go on.
Just a couple of underwhelming performances in the league, like almost back-to-back. And especially away from home, it's been a bit poor. And that's kind of resulted in the overall feeling being a little bit... Because we couldn't have actually done any better in any of the cup competitions than we have been doing, really. You know, individual performances aside, we've done about as good as it's possible for us to have done in the cups. So it's just that league. And Newcastle seem to have hit a bit of a vein of form, especially tonight, absolutely probably sewing up David Moyes' career at West Ham. And obviously Spurs, even though they're going through turmoil, managed to just jibbing them in front of us a little bit in the league. Obviously, we've got back and got our noses in front of them tonight. But yeah, the away form has been a little bit concerning, despite very solid home form. And I think everyone's just kind of fearful that our worst nightmare is coming to reality, that it started off fantastic this season. It got really, really hot, pretty quickly after the World Cup. We managed to get a trophy over the line, and then the wheels started to creak, didn't they? They didn't come off, but they did start making some noise that they needed WD-40. And then we was like, oh shit, we're very over-reliant on Marcus to score goals, which was still proven tonight. We're very over-reliant on Casemiro. Oh no, we're still relying on David De Gea pulling out the shit like he did again tonight. So, we're a long way off, but a long way along the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You said about a few sort of crucial performances tonight. Who stood out for you? Because it was basically, other than Weghorst coming out, Sancho coming in, it was the same team that got pretty much battered against Newcastle. So who do you think sort of turned it around? Who do you think stepped up tonight? A few sort of tactical tweaks, but like I said, same team.
I thought Bruno had a really good, solid performance deep. He's been flirting with playing him deep, hasn't he, a little bit lately, but he actually got to be a bit of a playmaker. I thought Sabitzer alongside him looked very good. I thought Varane's performance in particular is probably going to go under the radar for a lot of people, but he was flawless in the air. I don't think Martinez won a header all night, and I don't think Varane lost one. And they obviously did other stuff that helped each other. But I thought in the build-up to this game, we needed a big performance out of Varane, and I thought we got a big performance out of Varane.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought Martinez was really good on the ball. Just a couple of points back to the Rashford thing, because it is, I don't know, I still think it's pretty crucial that since the League Cup he's not scored, we haven't won. Then he scores tonight and we win 1-0. Like, it is a bit of a worry that in it. Like, it is literally, if Rashford doesn't score, we don't score. Do you think Martial coming back sort of helps fix that a little bit, or does that still worry you for the rest of the season?
He doesn't have my trust yet. Like, he needs to play more and start scoring and be available week in, week out for more than a week. So once he's done that, you might say that he's got the opportunity to win everyone's trust back. There's no denying he's more of a goal scorer than Weghorst is ever going to be. The fitness has always been the question mark over Anthony Martial. So he could come back into the squad at a really positive time, relieve a little bit of that goal scoring pressure, and even potentially win us a cup. We couldn't. This season could still be mental from here. There's no reason why this needs to fizzle out. We can beat Manchester City in an FA Cup final. Are you telling me that that's not going to be absolutely biblical if we do that?
Yeah, I know.
we could still go to Budapest and absolutely fucking rascal to whoever it is that we end up getting in Budapest. Like, we could have a full-on plastic treble and finish third in the league this season. It's about as good as anyone could have possibly expected it to be.
I mean, that isn't a terrible season for Fergie. Do you know what I mean? It's not a good one, but winning 3 trophies under any manager is a good season, or certainly not a bad one. And Nathan Ellington, who was on the watch along and the review tonight, he made a good point that we've gone through this rocky patch, but it's coincided with our striker being injured, Casemiro being out, like actual crucial players not playing, Eriksen being out. Like, you know, it's not just we've got a full strength team and they can't piece it together. All of the performances that haven't been so good have been without a full strength team. And as we come back to that full strength, I think Everton his last game for Casemiro suspended? Yeah, so after that we'll have him sort of permanently again, hopefully, unless he gets red carded again. That is a good sign, isn't it, that, you know, we've dipped off, but it's when our players have dipped off. It's when we haven't had our full strength team. Like you said, there's no reason we can't, you know, come back and win stuff. Just on that, how do you, if you're Ten Hag now, how do you balance this? Because we aren't winning the league. All we can do there is drop out of top 4 and ruin things, but we're not going to win anything. The Cups, we could genuinely win both of them. What do you do in terms of rotating, in terms of resting, do you just play your strongest team every time and see what happens? Or have you got a little, you know, Jose Mourinho, let's get the top 4 out of the Europa League style sort of plan going on?
No, that's never a good idea. And I know it paid off for Jose, but oh my God, did he gamble the farm on that? So no, I don't want to see us gamble on top 4 to win the Europa League. It's literally like, are we paying the rent this year? Let's just see what these numbers are now. Like, it's not the way to do it. No, your bread and butter is your league, and the trophies are the cherries on the top. Like, there is nothing without where you finish in the league, and ultimately, every manager, you know, bar Ollie, and you know, some people will consider a Charity Shield a cup, but it isn't. So, you know, Moyes and Ollie didn't win a trophy, but we had managers who won trophies and still got the bullet within months or hours of winning those trophies. So the trophies, as much as us as fans will all agree this is what we're here for, the board does not agree. So to stay in the job, the trophies are a pat on the head for the manager, but where the fuck did you come in the league? That's where you're going to be judged. So Erik Ten Hag has to focus on the league, because you can't gamble your existence as a Manchester United manager on whether or not you pick up, let's be honest, a second-rate trophy. Yeah. You know, the trophies are good, but unless it's the Champions League or the Premier League, because those are the 2 that we care about, the others are a level below, right? And as good a day out as it is at Wembley, and potentially one that could involve us beating Manchester City, as absolutely mega as that might be as a day out, it don't match the Champions League or the Premier League.
Let me offer you this then, just to push that mindset to its very limit. I can guarantee you right now, United will be in the Europa League final at the end of May. This is my magic wand guarantee. However, we will finish 5th. Are you taking that? But we are in the final, 100%.
No, because that means it's going to be a fucking wank next couple of months.
Yeah, you still buy it. No, I like that. I agree with you, by the way. I think top 4, I would rather be top 4 than achieve Champions League some other way, because being top 4 means, like you said, the next couple of months haven't been absolutely diabolical. But yeah.
No, and the thing is, Joe, we can come 3rd and be in that Europa League final. And at the end of the day, if we come 3rd and win the Europa League, you'll still have doubters on Erik Ten Hag, because that's just, well, certainly Twitter, right? If you lose a game in a season, someone's got something to say. And you might have won the other 37. Someone's still got something to say, especially Arsenal fans. But yeah, you can't gamble on doing that, and it's not something you can offer.
No, that's true.
You know, if you said next season, look, you're going to come 5th, but you're going to win the Champions League, yeah, I might be at your bookies for that one. I might take that one, but ultimately, that's not something that's on offer for us this season. what we all wanted at the start of the season was to finish inside the top 4. We didn't want to qualify for the Champions League. We wanted to be one of the best 4 teams in the country. I think there's a big difference in that there. You know, you've seen people qualify for stuff, but it doesn't make you the best, you know, 3rd or 4th best team in the country. That's what the Champions League qualification represents to me. I'm not in the finance department at United. They might see it differently. I want to be considered one of the best teams in the country. And that's, you know, partially what winning the league is all about as well. Yes, it's the silverware. Yes, it's the achievement, but it's also being recognised as being who you are, which would be the best team in the country.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Thank you for coming on today. Make sure you check in tomorrow as well. Me and Steve are going to be doing a tier list, United's transfers, who we need, who needs to go, who needs to come in. The full works. We'll bring you that tomorrow evening, so make sure you check that out. Hit subscribe as well to the channel if you haven't already. Hit like on the video. Manchester United 1, Brentford 0, back to winning ways. It's easy, all this stuff. And like Steve says, we're going to finish 3rd and win the Europa League. So why worry about it? See you in a bit.